told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
I forget about that one.
We are done. Thanks for coming, listening to the podcast, guys.
This is when it's about to go down.
As women, yeah. Tea for tired.
Yeah.
You know that Netflix. Guys, navigating dating as a woman is a different thing. You have to think about your safety.
Yes, number one.
Not only physical safety, emotional, emotional, spiritual
safety.
Safety first. Like,
where do you even begin with this dating chat, man?
Like where?
I don't even know.
In the beginning.
Home life.
Lizards and frogs of human beings.
I wouldn't even know where to start from the trauma.
From the trauma, exactly. Oh, bro.
Yeah.
I think also what adds to this dating element thing that's difficult for us specifically is that we're in the medical field.
Yeah.
We don't settle as early as everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all our friends did like to my 4-year degree. I'm not undermining by saying to my. So someone's like, hey, so you think being a doctor is everything? Yeah, boo. But anyway, they did like 4-year, 3-year degrees successfully. Some even then did like a year extra honors and stuff like that. They're actually done with school. They actually have a degree, and they have graduated. They are working. The income is coming. They found themselves a man. They've settled. What are you doing? 4th year med school, 2nd semester.
Week 8 seminar.
You're not even thinking about
Gym
a
is
boyfriend. Like at this point,
Bruh.
The side hustle, you're trying to side hustle also.
Everything. I went to Zim, and people my age are hustling, and they finished their 4-year degrees, right? And they are hustling, so they're going to work, but they also have a side thing, and they're inviting me for lunch. Who is a med student and has a side thing that they operate at school. Because when I come home, I'm a med student. I'm not trying to do anything apart from rest and recuperate. Rest, ice, compression, and what is the other one? The E. I'm trying to rise it up in here, you know? And you can't help but feel the social pressure of the fact that Saka, I'm still doing the education when my peers are like this. Another thing is like, now, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but now they're giving birth. So first they were... There was the Rora age, right?
It's so sick now. I feel like Rose and I, we've just gotten to that stage where we passed this now. We had this moment.
There was the Rora wave. They all got roadward. Then there was the white wedding phase. We saw it. They are now giving birth. They are now posting what happened to me when I was pregnant. They are now calling each other my Ningi and this. Woo!
On that stage where some are on their 3rd child, so now it's just like whatever.
All I'm worried about is can I wake up for this 8 a.m. tomorrow? Seriously? Like, how many absences do I have? You know?
Can I afford to skip
and then
school
our
today?
parents, my parents have never been like the pressure type. But like my mom's conveniently started. I don't think she means
you're just
to like give me pressure. But recently, she mentioned one of her bestie's kids had a second born. She sent me a video. Look at the siblings. Nah. You know,
and sometimes they always feel like subs, but you know what I mean?
They do feel like subs.
They feel like subs, to be
But
honest.
she's just telling me a story, what's happening in her life. And I'm thinking, do you want me to pop babies? Because I don't even have a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend who would tempt me
for a donor
to do that. Like,
this is childbirth.
We're not doing that one.
I cancel. Yeah, I guess we can just move from now going backwards, because I think I have very mixed feelings. You know, I feel like how I felt before I turned 25 about dating and relationships and what I thought is different. When I turned 25, it was different, and then now it's different again. It's
definitely
so
different.
Like at each point at each turn in life, I feel like there's something that has grown and that has changed. I feel like before, or maybe I'll say 26 and back then, I think I was very much centered on finding like a life partner, because I think I still had that view of like, oh, when I finish med school, I will have found my partner. I felt like I think my vision was that everything will come together in that moment, because I always wanted to know the person that I spend the rest of my life with for a very long time before like we marry and stuff. So I was like, okay, I mean, I have like med school to do this, to find this person, which is also a long time where I get to really know and make a really, really like well-informed decision. And then, you know, we'll graduate, and then we move on to the next phase of our life together. You know, and I was really caught up in that I think there was so many other parts of me that hadn't really developed, right? So maybe like dealing with my stuff. You know, we all have stuff. We all have things we have to deal with within ourselves that actually impact the relationships that we're trying to have in the future. And I don't think I really ever dealt with those things, because I think to me it was just like you just get committed to each other, but you are a menace, you are a beast. You know, no one should be living with you. No one should be living with you. You know what I mean? Like you're toxic. You have unhealthy coping mechanisms and all these things. Exactly, exactly. You're out here, you know. So I think for me, that those things were what I was like a little bit fixated on. I won't say to the point of obsession. I was fixated on those things a lot. And then I think when I had that turnaround moment, when I started to realize that, okay, I want a healthy, of course, through trial and error, that's how you find out these things about yourself, right? You date someone, and then you start to see that, okay, like, you start to also hold yourself accountable. Like, okay, you know what? They are the problem. They are the reason why this thing did not work out, because they are just useless. They are just not focused. They are just not what. That's how you start. You know, when you're younger, it's always the other person's fault. And then as you grow and as you mature, you start to also like take accountability. What am I contributing? What are my flaws? What are things I can improve? And I think you can learn a lot like from your partner that you have, because they also give you feedback. Oh, I don't like it when you do this. It makes me feel like this. And you start to pick up some of your traits that you have that are negative. Because sometimes I don't think anybody sits and starts to imagine all the negative things about themselves. But sometimes from feedback, that's how you get to learn that, oh, you know, I'm a bit like this. I'm a bit like this. And maybe I'm a bit aggressive. Maybe I'm a bit, you know, I don't know how to say that exactly. I'm a bit hardcore. Maybe my approach to certain things might not be the best. Might not be the best. You know, you start to learn those things about yourself. And I think that those things are what help to build you into a wholesome person. So I can imagine, I would love to meet a person who's done and who's also continuously doing this work on themselves, right? But I imagine myself that if I don't know, committed to it, because that's all it takes to just decide that, okay, you know what, I'm going to commit this, and then we get married and everything. So if I decided to make that step at that point in my life, it would have been a terrible mistake. You get what I'm saying? It would have been a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. But I think in that moment, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
But retrospectively now, like being matured and everything, I was like, that would not
What
have.
the heck?
Yeah, that would never have been, a marriage or a relationship that I would have enjoyed, because I want what I want to picture long term. I want to picture. I'm picturing, the quality of life I want to have, partnership, and all this. And I'm like, bruh, I wasn't even capable of bringing that to the table when they say, I mean, of course I'm the table, but I am the table.
But what kind
If
of
I was,
table? Plastic table?
there you go.
Tissue table?
I'm telling
Wooden
you.
table?
I'm telling you.
What kind
It
of
was
table?
giving. It was giving. I don't even know table in my tongue. Some reed tables. That's the table I was bringing. So here I am with my very shaky, shaking like it is.
You were shaking,
shaky table. You get what I'm saying? And then expecting, to get, I don't know, like a palace from that table, and you want to put my dinner plates on that red table. You want to put all the gold forks and knives.
Decliner.
You want to put the clay pots on that red table. So I think my view of relationships and everything changed because of that personal growth. And I think I got to have the opportunity to be privy to like my best friend's own relationship. You know what I'm saying? Of course, she doesn't tell me intimate things about her marriage or anything like that. But like seeing the type of dedication, and the type of work, like that part of relationships, and not the pictures, and not the stuff that we do glamorize about relationships or marriage or something. Seeing that work, seeing the dedication, the commitment that is behind that. That's when, for me, the switch happened. I said, this is a real thing. It's not just about enjoying, because I think you're kind of picturing, I'll have my man, my man will go to dinner, we'll do this together, and those like cute things, but like relationships, marriage is work. It's continuous work. You know what I mean? And I saw that, and I saw, this couple and the amount of dedication and work on themselves that they had to put. I saw my best friend work on herself. You get what I'm saying? And I was like, it was a eureka moment for me. I saw those guys work on themselves as individuals, work on their stuff as individuals, work on their stuff together. And for me, that it completely changed my mentality. Like it's not something that is just this, I don't know, like a fairy tale thing. It's a serious thing for me, and I was like, yeah. And I think I want to be with someone who takes this seriously. Exactly. If you're going to come around me thinking that presenting a lifestyle is what partnership is, that's not what I think partnership is. Like, I have this, I have that. It's the whole thing. You know what I mean? Is that, can you be an emotional support? You get what I'm saying? Can you be a priest?
Can you be a priest? That's what we're looking for. You're not a priest.
Can you be a priest?
You're not
Can you be a this? Can you be a this? And also reflecting that back onto myself. Guys, these are things I didn't think about back then. I looked at my mom. The way that woman prays for us. I said, sis, I ain't ever prayed for myself like that. And I want to be someone's mother.
Now I need to be waking up and praying for my children.
You get what I'm saying? Like, those things really, really started to hit me. And I'm like, I want all these things. Have I even prepared myself for them? You get what I'm saying? Am I even? And I'm like, it makes me feel so proud of our parents, because they got into this thing like younger and developing that stamina to be what they are. And I'm just like, gosh, like how
they learned on the job.
They did.
I mean, of course you gotta, but like for me, the type of job that the results are resulting. And like, it's really giving.
They work.
Look at me.
Look at me. It works.
It's really giving. And I'm like, okay, these things are responsibilities. Parenthood is a ministry. You have the opportunity to literally damage a human being, an innocent soul, or to build them. And that is a responsibility. That is a ministry on its own. And, it's not just, I have a baby. That's not how I see it anymore. Before it was just like, oh, I want to have my little baby, you know, someone to love. I want to smell the newborn baby, and it's mine, you know, it's part of me. It's half of me, and you know, made from love, and this, and it's like, it's not that for me anymore. So it doesn't look all sparkly anymore. It looks like a serious thing. And I think maybe for different people, God obviously has different plans. Yeah. And I think now I've kind of settled with the fact that I think there's many things that I think are important to me. That God knows that I would want to provide a certain environment for my family or something like that. So of course, some people, you know, most, of course, parenthood and all these things, marriage, whatever, you learn on the job and whatever. But I think there's some things I think God knows that these were going to be so important to me that He did not allow me to make a commitment like such as marriage before I was aware of those things. Because now I'm very much aware of like what's important to me, you know, when it comes to family. Like, it's so important to me, the person who's going to father my children. And I say father because I actually realize that relationships may or may not last. Marriages may or may not last. And the thing is that it takes two. Amen. The thing is that it takes two to tango. Yeah. You can be fully committed, but if your partner is no longer committed, there's no marriage to talk about. You get what I'm saying? So just the reality of that can happen. And for me, it's paramount. Who is going to father my children? Because they're going to significantly determine the kind of childhood my child is going to have. So it's not a decision I'm ready to really make willy-nilly at all. You get what I'm saying? Because at the very least, I need to know that this is a person who is about family, you know, a family-oriented person, a person who's excited to be around their children, play with their children, be actively involved in their life and everything like that. So for me, it's no longer like, oh, you know, I can't wait for you guys to wear some bridesmaids dresses and for us to pop bottles at my wedding and throw money and everything like that. It's like more than that now. Of course, before it was about that. It was like, I can't wait for us to be vibing out, your destination wedding. Let's do this. Now it's like, well, there's marriage after the wedding. And then what? And then I just choose one lizard. I just choose one lizard for my DMs. Hey, you want for this one mosquito for my Instagram DMs. You'll regret it. You'll regret it. You get what I'm saying? So I think that, like, yeah, my perspective has definitely changed from what it was before. Before it was just like, oh, you know what? Like, you know, you're cute. Okay, like, you kind of seem like a good guy. Okay, let's see. Let's see how it'll go. Let's see how it will go. Now it's just like, now we're not even seeing how it will go. Like, we're not taking our time. I'm seeing it in the spirit. Honestly.
You know, like you're saying, like, our parents have, like, a really big impact on the way that we visualize relationships. And my parents had a really long-standing relationship. They had a relationship for a long time. Yeah. And so I always kind of pictured that I'm also gonna have a relationship for a long time, and then and then my person's gonna be my person, no matter what happens in the in between. So I think I was always I was always ready. I was always ready to settle. So I never looked at.
She was shame.
I was always ready to work.
Ready.
And you know, the thing is, I was always ready to work with what I have. Because in my head, I'm supposed to have this long-standing thing that one day, it will turn into that. That's what it's supposed to be. So I was always ready to work with what I had, even when I did church.
I think, like, women, that's our downfall.
Shake my head.
It's our downfall. It's our downfall.
We are always ready.
We are fixers.
I didn't even want to fix sometimes.
We want to mold you.
For me, it wasn't much about, like, I am going to do the fixing. But I was willing to wait for you to do the fixing. Like, because I mean, I'm young, right? This was when I was like 19, and I'm really thinking, I mean, by the time we're 27,
You
would have figured it out. Yeah. Come on. It's much different from now.
Surprise.
Surprise. I'm telling you, like, I was just always ready to work with what I've got. Like, okay, this is what I have. So, my ex-boyfriend, who's never going to listen to this so I can speak freely.
Oh, yes, he is.
Was that one day?
I'm not, of course.
Prim.
So, my ex-boyfriend was repeating in high school, and I was done with high school. He didn't tell me. He lied to me for a while. I ended up finding out.
Honestly, my high school self entered me, not me. And I said, repeating.
What?
He's shocked,
but I digress.
Yeah, and he lied to me and everything. I ended up finding out from his stepmom because I was looking for him, and she was now my G at that point, mother-in-law and everything. I was seeing it. I was working with what I get. I'm telling you. And I called her like, I can't find baby. And my baby said, baby's gone to school. And I said, what do you mean baby's gone to school?
Which school?
What school?
Finished.
Uni? Uni. He said some Saint Nyongoros. I said, what?
So why is go to MX plus C?
And then, but I had to pretend a little bit that I knew. Like, I wasn't really surprised, but I was surprised. And then later on, I think maybe she alerted him. I don't know what happened. I can't speak on that part. Okay, but he then messaged. He just He just messaged me and he said, babe, I'm sorry I didn't tell you what actually happened. Something happened and he had to repeat his O levels, and so he had fallen behind in school. So now he was like in lower 6, I think, or upper 6 at the time that we started dating and everything. And to me, he should have just told me the truth. All the fundamentals about the fact that this person continuously lied to me for the past 4 months and made up things, because the first time he disappeared, he made up a really fabricated story that when he told me, I knew it was fabricated. I knew it was like a movie scene. I knew it. But I took it.
Like it's okay.
It's giving who the F did I marry?
But I was willing to work with it. Like, I had my own car at this point, and
wait,
so
you were willing to work with
the crimson
with the cha-cha-cha.
Frog?
Yes, I was.
Lizard.
So in my life, he was okay. Then we were still dating by the time he had written his A levels, right? And that's another story. But anyway, it was time to decide to go to uni, and my guy is not really making some proactive decisions. These are all crimson flags screaming at me. But in my head, I was like, he's gonna figure it out. And the other chap, by the time I have an entire 7 years in mid school, because I was doing BMC, I have an entire 7 years ahead of me. I can even if he doesn't go to uni now and decides to go to uni 3 years later, there's no degree that he's going to do that is longer than mine. He might even graduate before me, because I've just started. Let him do what he's doing. Until one day, I was like, what the heck? I was like, what the heck? And what the heck until we broke up, And now that is totally different. I feel like I want to see what you got.
Now you still want to see what
No, I want to see what you got. No, last time, the other time, I didn't even need to see what you got. You just give me what you got and I'll work with
Just pull up.
Just pull up.
Okay.
I'm telling you. But now, there's so much more to consider. It's no longer just, okay, I have to know this person my whole life. I really would love to know the person I'm going to marry, obviously, to know them. But then it was like, this is what I gotta work with it. And I think, now that I think about it, there were some self-confidence issues there as well. That, I don't really believe that I can pull a better nigga than this. So I better work with the nigga that I've pulled at the moment. Then I came to uni and I discovered, damn, I can pull it. And everything like that. So now the idea is, it's much more mature.
Yeah.
Then the 25 happened. And the 25 pressure hit, man.
Oh, it really hits.
Oh, it hit, man. And I never expected it. When they said it, I was like, no, but I know what I want and everything like this.
You feel like you've achieved nothing in your life?
Absolutely nothing. Man, I think, like, even the most, what can I say, the most probable person to be my partner felt the pressure also because of what I was feeling. But boys don't have it the same. No. They don't have it remotely the same. They just, all the men listening to this, you just don't get it. And you will never get it. Because you were not raised to be a wife from the time they were telling you to do the dishes and not your brother. Like, you were not, I was raised to be, I was a wife since I was 10. I was raised to do this thing. What? And now it feels like it's time. And Debbie said, it's like, surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. There's nobody, absolutely nobody. There's kids and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think 25 hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. The baby fever of a baby that I cannot take care of. It hit me. The marriage, emotionally, I can't take care of a baby. So I committed, it was supposed to be a year, to fixing myself, to prepare for a relationship.
Because I was worried, I considered to find.
No, I just committed to fixing myself and everything. And I decided to open up myself to hear the flaws, like you were talking about. It was not a really pretty journey. I can't lie. Because I was of the people I was entertaining who were, for lack of a better way to put this, lower than the judge. I'd always had this thing that I'm perfect in relationships. I know how to do this thing. It's they that don't know how to do it. Until I met my match, I said, actually I have to put in some work. I have to work on some stuff. Even the self-confidence, it doesn't only show up in what you tolerate. And it also shows up in, like, being overly sensitive sometimes.
Yeah. In your level of insecurity. Yeah.
Like the person says one thing, you hear another, and you react totally bizarre, and everything like that. And there was that I needed to work on, the self-confidence. And if said boyfriend is going to say, this is my girlfriend, who am I going to, at that stage, was I going to pull up as the girl that I imagine that I am? So is what I think I am just an imagination, or is it real? It was an imagination. It was a facade. It was not real. So it was a facade. And unfortunately, the incident that brought it...
I said facade with confidence.
It was a facade. But then... And I was saying that unfortunately the incident that brought that up was like a heartbreak situation. That made me think, but actually, even if that situation had gone to where it was going to successful, which it wasn't going to be, it was not destined for success. But would I still have been able to show up as the girl in my head? And I realized, no, the girl in my head is in my head. She's not out here yet. And then I was now trying to build on that woman, and I think that I'm doing a great job, honestly. I'm just waiting for the man.
We see the growth. We see the growth for sure.
My man, alert. Like,
You know,
will come when it's time.
You grow through these things, I think, especially if you're also like actively trying to grow. I think growth is an active process, and this is why you see that there are people who are older and they still act just as stupid as they were when they were younger, and they are very there because we are seeing them, and it's like grow up. You know what I mean? We are not expecting people to be perfect, but come on, like get a grip.
By now.
Exactly. By now, as you're at your big age, like, at least have some self-awareness. Let's get it together. Let's be working. You know, do something. Do something about yourself, you know, to grow. So for sure, like I think, relationships, friendships.
What about you, Rose? What's happening with the dating?
I'm single, guys.
I'm single. But you guys, is being single such a sad thing?
It's not. I'm
not gonna lie.
I'm loving my singlehood, to be honest.
I didn't want to love it because after the 25 days, I just hated being like identifying as a single person, and so like
honestly,
I have a controversial relationship.
Actually, I think because I haven't gone back home as much, I think my view is not too filtered with how people view things back home, because I think I get to be away from home where all this marriage pressure and everything, one is obsessed with you finding a partner, a husband, and this and that I think it almost doesn't exist in my immediate world. And I think I have more friends who are single than who are married. So for me, it's the
opposite.
Actually, when I think about it, more of my friends are single.
The ones, they're dwindling.
Me, I'm the single one in the friend.
They're dwindling.
So I think for me, there's not this like, oh, everyone is married around me and all this. But honestly, when I went home, I was like, I don't want to come back here. Because it felt like everyone was just obsessed with that.
Everybody,
you know what I
obsessed with
mean?
it.
Like for women, being a single woman is hard. It's a struggle for women. Not even on some like, oh, it's hard to. I think it's hard for everyone, both male and female. Maybe the loneliness that comes with the single season and stuff like that. Aside from that, societal singleness is. I think it's harder on women than it is on men.
Yeah,
like because the women are putting pressure on you. It's other women. And the men as well, naturally. And it just follows through.
You end up putting
pressure on yourself because sometimes you'll be feeling fine, but like all that external feedback that's just constantly telling you that you should have someone, you should be married, you should be married.
Went through that phase.
You start to ask yourself like,
everybody was I said
am I a potato? Just plant me. Like, I'm telling you. Yeah. So when I was home, that's when I was like, I didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't like how it felt like our society looks down on women who are single. Like it's this curse. And I feel like this is,
he said it.
Like
they make it seem like it's a curse.
And you actually see mothers like actively worrying about their daughters who are single and everything, and it's becoming a thing. I remember talking to one of my friends, and she was like, her mom is like so concerned to the point that she's starting to seek like all these like external spiritual help and stuff like that on some we don't want and I'm just like, dude, like let's relax. You get what I'm saying? Like let's relax. Like it's such a thing, and that pressure that society will put on you, parents will put on you. I know that, and I can understand parents wanting their children to find a partner to spend life with and find that in everything. But like everything comes in its turn. And that is not the only source of happiness that there is in life.
Yeah.
So just because someone is like single and they're single, it doesn't mean that they're actually miserable.
No,
because I'm not, and it doesn't make exactly. And I feel like it doesn't make anything about them less significant because of that. Because it starts to feel like, I think after a certain age, I think back home, I think it's 25 and above.
Yeah, 25.
It starts to, it's like as a woman, anything that you achieve means nothing unless there is a man standing next to you that is your husband. And to me, that is the most ridiculous thing. You get what I'm saying? It's the most ridiculous thing. Why should the presence of another human being validate anything that I've achieved as a person?
Yeah.
Man, it's such a thing. Like,
it really is.
To my cousins,
it's terrible.
they're just getting married and turning us into aunties and like officially become that auntie.
Not bad, you know.
But it really made me miserable. I'm just gonna speak for the ones that are miserable.
Yeah.
Miserably single out there. It really did. I did not want to be single anymore. I was just done with the whole single thing. Like it's now my turn to say baby. And
honestly, I think for me, especially
when I went home that time, like my I was not in a good space mentally. So I think I was very vulnerable mentally. So I think I internalized a lot of that feedback that was happening when I was back home, where I would go to visit here, visit there, and they're expecting to hear some news about a guy in my life, or someone who's going to be coming to bride price, like something like that, you know. And for me, it was like, even if I had a boyfriend, I don't think that I was going to announce it, to be honest. I wasn't going to tell anyone, but I didn't. And it felt even worse because it was like, oh, I should even have someone. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, everybody's like so obsessed with that. Like they were, and I think for me, it really hit. Like they were not, when I left for uni and I was going to med school, everybody was raving about, you know, me becoming a doctor. And then now it's actually happening. And it's like, everybody's now raving about I was like, by the way, I am going to be a doctor now. It's happening. Hello. And then surprise, I'm so single. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. They were looking for you to pop babies.
They were looking for, after 7 years, you have to be coming back with your man for sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, surprise.
No man here, just my degree.
Just made myself an ISIS. And yeah, I think, you know, I didn't really like the way our society like demonizes single women, even to the single mothers. It's always like such a negative thing that is attached to someone. And I think that it's something that needs to change in our societies. Like, how can you do that? Like, no, because it's very negative, and it's always the single women that will be targeted for, oh, you're the ones that are sleeping with people's husbands. You're the ones that are, you know, the scourge of society. You're the one, like, everything is on the single women. And it's like, come on now, it's not a crime. And I think some people haven't found their person. Some people are looking for their person. Some people, they are comfortable with that life. Can everybody just respect other people's choices?
No.
Because marriage is actually like currency. Like, respect currency in our culture. Like, you will have less respect than a married woman in our culture.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not enough that you're a human being. But I'm unmarried now, so I mean, this is Mrs. Someone, and you know, you are just
single. And where's your reach out when you're single?
I think, and it's not always, like you're saying, it's not always maybe communicated directly, not all the time, but like, it's in the way people talk to you about certain things, and then talk to your counterpart who's in a relationship. It's completely different. You're like a kid still, because you don't understand the things of life, because you don't have a man in your life, you know, and stuff like this. And so, like, when that 25 hit, man, they are all when I say they are all, I really mean they were like in a queue or something. Like, did they put a notification and announcement? Like, okay, do I have to set up a LinkedIn profile or something? I don't know. Like, and it's them calling also. Like, I remember one of my cousins got married, and they called us and everything. And of course, we're happy to be there. But like I said, they're turning us into rich aunties now. And it was some of my family members went back home with my parents. And my aunties, my parents called me, and then they were like, oh, your aunties are here, speak to your aunties. And they're like, oh, we've gone to Ningi's Rora. And she tells me how she was just thinking about me the whole time. I said, focus on the person who's getting married. Don't focus on me. And she's like, yeah, I was just thinking about you to say, when are we going to actually do yours? Do mine with who? Because right now it's just me. There's no man prospect.
Well, thankfully nobody has asked me those type of questions.
Really? Even when you went home?
I mean, when I was home, yeah, they made comments, you know. Like I remember we went to one of our family like friends and everything, and then her grandchild had been like recently engaged, and they were in the middle of like planning her wedding. So she was actually around, and we were just talking and stuff like that. And then, you know, I think we were about to like pray, and my mom and I were about to leave, and she was like, yeah, you know, you see that, you know, thing on her finger, we also want to see yours and everything like that. And it's just like,
do I put it on myself?
Thank you.
Honestly.
You know, the way it was said is it's almost, it was almost as if everything is entirely in my power in a way.
It's not.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not quite like that. You get what I'm saying? And it's not, yeah, it's in my power in the sense that, okay, of course I would choose a partner. But like, if I don't see someone who's suitable for me yet, like, that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. You get what I'm saying? But it's like this pressure that, oh yes, you need to find your own person who's going to put a ring on you. And then, you know, and also you do your thing. And I'm like, I mean, it's beautiful. And let's not take this moment away from this person. It's their time. Let's not now make it about when my time is going to be. And that I should do this and I should also achieve this. It's not a degree. It's not like I'll go to some institution and then
come back
do
with
some
a
couple of
husband.
tests, come back with a degree. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's a relationship.
Yeah.
There was also another element. I don't know if you guys felt this when you guys the 25 thing hit, but when it almost seemed as if you have to do it quickly because it's seasonal. Like Nguva, like this time, if it just passes, it's not gonna happen, or it's gonna be so extremely difficult for it to happen for you.
I think a part of me even feels that way, to be honest.
And it also feels like you're very disadvantaged because you are a medical professional, which means you're intimidating because you're too smart and you make a lot of money.
I feel like I never went through that because I never had that external pressure. And we went home. If we were home, I feel like we would have had that whole, it's seasonal, we should get married now. But because, you know, we just go home for a short time, I didn't really have it. Though, every time I go home, I'm asked, go mkwasha, every single time. But the pressure was there.
Yeah, like,
especially when I turned 25. Everybody, go mkwasha.
I feel like now it's not there because they're tired.
They are tired of seeing me single, my guy.
It really did feel like that. And I think it reflected in my relationships. To say I don't have enough time for you to be playing games. Make a decision about me, or
pressure on the guy.
Give someone else space to make the decision, because clearly you're not into me like that. Like
exactly.
Because if you're into me like that, make a freaking decision. What's going on? What the heck?
You gotta be sure.
Because I was being sold this idea of like, it's very seasonal. Like, you have a year to figure yourself out. If you turn 26 before you find a man and you're a medical person, the intimidation is gonna just be terribly difficult.
I think it's almost like there's also people who believe that like it's the pivotal part is before you graduate, before that title is on you, because once it's on you, that's another hurdle to like get over. Exactly. Yes. So now it's just like, sister, I don't know. At this point, do we have home?
Do we have home and stuff?
We are just waiting. We're just waiting.
Entering acceptance though. Or I think I entered acceptance. Like, it is.
Yeah, you get there. You get there, and I think especially when you start to see the reasons for your waiting season, everything starts to make sense to you. It makes so much sense. And it doesn't really matter what other people are thinking.
What they think.
Yes, because you start to see that, you know what? And then you start to look back at the lizards. And you're like, if I was doing life with this lizard, how will it be?
If I was doing life with this judge,
exactly.
Completely different.
So now you think about it and you're like, I think I'm kind of better off right now.
Honestly.
Exactly. Because that's
you do reach
that's
an
what you
acceptance.
compare with.
Yeah,
You know, you're
acceptance.
like, fine, I can think about this pressure, and then you look at the pressure points, and you're like, there were
There is
lizards,
no pressure.
mosquitoes, and rodents.
Cha, cha, cha.
So
I think I reached
like
that
you-
in my 4th year, actually.
Really? You
Yeah,
did?
because like back in the day, in my mind, I used to have this thing that every woman, I feel like by 25 want to get married. So for me, after my first degree, I finished when I was 23. I was like, I don't want to do this medicine thing. I'm going to finish when I'm 30. You guys are ruining my plans. I want to be married by then. I want to have like 2 children by then. You know, I had this whole plan in my mind. Then I came to med school and I struggled a little bit because I'm like, but I mean, med school one, I'm older than all these people. I'm going to finish when I'm 30. Okay, so what? Now I accepted it, you know. But like that relationship thing, I was just like, God, then when is the man going from? Because like you see, yeah. But when I reached my 4th year, and I'm like, okay, listen here, everybody's journeys are different.
Yeah.
This is my journey.
This is what my mom said.
If I have to find my man's, God forbid, if I have to find my man's at 30.
God forbid.
Like exactly like
God forbid.
like
He must count this
year.
Like, we're happily single, but
I'm kidding. If that's my
Man,
journey,
let
like
him
let
come
it
when
be,
he comes.
you know.
I think for me, that's kind of where I am.
Because we have school.
it's true.
Yeah, for me,
what am I
I
looking
think
for as well?
I'm just like, let him come. Come when he comes. I just
Yeah,
need him to
yeah.
be ready. That's all.
I feel like that's the stage
That's-
I'm at.
That's
Like,
the,
let him
so for
come
me,
when he
if
comes.
he's getting ready, great. Because I don't want for someone to come
Because
into
you're
my
also
life.
getting ready. as
Exactly.
well.
I don't want for someone to come into my life that I feel like is the person and they're not. Because this is a whole other layer that you also learn
cannot go
along
through
these
that.
journeys. That you see, sometimes you bump into this person that seems like they're the right person, and then it's like, oh, quote unquote, the timing is wrong. It's like, come on now, sis. Like, really? Can we get anything right? The timing is.
And I feel like we all have that significant breakup that afterwards we're like,
It changes you.
it changes you. That
Yeah.
not even when I enter like things.
Hey,
relationship. Now we're entering relationship. I feel like now I'm more direct.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Are you accepting the terms and conditions? Then
Yeah.
let's move on from there, because that relationship, that one relationship, it will change you.
Relationship.
It will change you.
And the thing is that most of the time, it will change you into a beast that
Yeah.
you have to
An
do
animal.
so much work to tame, you know, to heal. And I feel like sometimes it's even the person who comes into your life. I think I was listening to something about this, that, you know, that is also a process of healing each other. That you need relationships that also heal you. Not that it's the responsibility of a partner or your responsibility to heal someone, but you have to bring healing to each other in a relationship. And I said, and it's true, I need healing.
Yeah,
I do. And I think there are those parts that are going to be healed by that love. That's that love from another person, not even from myself, that's going to heal those particular parts of me. So for me, that's why I'm just like, no, I just need you to pull up ready. That's all.
honestly.
I don't want the right person at the wrong time, wrong person at the right time. I don't know.
I don't want to fix you. I don't want to be Betty the Builder.
I don't know whatever version that you can think of and whatever. No, just pull up when you're ready.
Honestly,
When you're ready.
It's
And
when
for me,
when the time is right,
exactly,
God will
just
make it happen.
pull up when you're ready.
That's
and
where
me
we are
also,
stopping.
for me to be ready at that time, because I don't want to connect with someone and it feels like, oh my gosh, like, okay, there's something here. And then, guys, connecting with people, I think the older you become, you realize, oh, there's actually not that. There's not plenty of fish in the sea. It's a lie. Let me just tell you.
The fish,
it's a lie.
They are dwindling also.
No.
They are not plenty and they are dwindling.
The problem is that it's not fish that end, it's dragons.
It's dragons.
It's dragons.
It's not aligning. It's not aligning.
Lizards, dragons, dragonfly, exactly. That's what's in the sea, sis.
It's not fish.
It's not fish.
It's not fish. It's not fish. So I think you start to value connections that are authentic when you bump into them. And I think maybe there's also a reason why things are that way. That I think when you get to that point, you have an appreciation for that person. Because I think some things when we're younger, maybe for the people that found the one that got away when they were younger, you don't fully appreciate it because there's this sense of there's more out there to discover and to find out and to what. And then you go on with life and you're like, whoa, I actually had a jam. I actually had a jam that time. You know what I mean? So I feel like when you bump into, and if you mature and you go from that, when you find that again, then you appreciate it. You really appreciate it and you take care of it. So maybe there's a goodness to that growth and to those losses and to those hurts that grows us and that makes us appreciate the things that come later in life.
It does.
Do you also think it works au contraire? Like if you meet the opposite in that, right? When you finally meet an authentic connection, you're like, I can't let this go. But like I feel like sometimes people who've had average relationships don't really have an appreciation for that. As much as people who've been on the extremes, either had like a really good relationship or a really bad relationship, they have a much more, like a bigger appreciation for an authentic connection. And they're, I think, from what I've noticed and seen, they're quicker to like
settle down.
Yeah, or to recognize it. That this is not maybe like settle down, but to say that funny something.
Yeah. I think for me, I think I can agree with you. I think it's not. I think when I was coming from a relationship that was like, how can I say,
Trauma,
low vibrational, low vibrational
energy.
I think, and before I used to think that, I think the next one felt really like wow, because I was just coming from low vibration. But even after that, and maybe going through like another thing and comparing that, I can see that thing was very special. That thing was, it was something significant. You get what I'm saying? So I think you're right that like when you experience
something
like those extremes, you can really identify something that is special.
And you're done. Like I know for myself,
and I'm not really interested in low vibrational things. To be honest, I'm not. It's like it's such a waste of energy and time that it just feels like, hey, I'm cool. I just want these high quality experiences. Yeah,
I feel like that happened with me also with that ex of mine. He that shall not be named. Well, it's coming from like something toxic. Something toxic, and then he came along and he treated me so well that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like authentic and all of that, not knowing that I'm in the lion's den. So I feel like with like ladies, the mistake we do is we don't really discern. Yes, it might look pretty, it looks good, you're being treated the way you're supposed to be treated, but maybe you're being treated the bare minimum that your ex was not doing. That it looks like it's like, oh my gosh,
there you go.
And then you settle, and then you realize
it wasn't all that. It's an accident.
It was an accident.
It
was an accident.
From
to another.
The thing about it, is that
guys, Lassie is a frog.
Yes, they're not gonna know.
Jaja, I can't even tell you.
It's a spider.
It's a spider.
Hey, jump by here.
Really?
Just like the maid, they be jumping.
When I got to the frog, the frog treated me just enough, and I had no clue that the just enough is just enough. Because I'm coming from something worse and worse, and the pressure was and I think you also need to discern that maybe sometimes God sends people into your life to recalibrate.
Yes.
So you just come back to zero. And then from there we take this recalibration out and give you the real. And I didn't clock it because this Daffy, an amazing friend, but
Anna,
I just didn't discern it quick enough to say, like they're not inherently like a
terrible
person, but I'm not supposed to be playing those games with them. And I think I take accountability for being a type of that situation. And then after, then I see, that's what I was being prepared for.
The basics, like
good life, kind of thing. But the office, but nothing, bro.
I'm telling you, I think, these experiences, I think that thing where, when you're coming from a really, really bad situation, like almost anything that is just slightly better than that will look like the heaven, will actually look like heaven. So I think you also need to take time to heal.
Yes.
Because I think a part of maybe, but I think this is why I said, for me, I looking retrospectively, I was like, there was definitely a part of that was like, everything was like heaven, because I was just coming from lack, right? And then I go through and I still go back and I'm like, okay, there was part of that, but there was also something that was genuine about the connection as well. So fortunately that happened. But, and I think for me, it was like, it felt like a reminder that it's still possible to find this, you know what I mean? But I think for me, I've always been a person who's like super like, you know what you describe, like I'm here, you know what I mean? I'm here, like I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. I've always been that kind of girl. So I think for me, that was a recalibration that was also necessary. That you shouldn't just be ready for anything. Because even the good ones, they can be lizards in some ways. So exactly. So I feel I think I needed to work on me. And I think the thing is that when you are in a relationship, it's taking work, it's taking energy, it's taking your time. There is no time to work on yourself.
No.
And I think I couldn't really understand that, because I think for me, I always took it like, if this good person comes along, I shouldn't deprive myself of this good person when I gave this terrible person my time. This person deserves my time. And I deserve to be treated well by this person who's looking like they're ready to treat me well. So I think I never gave myself chance to heal. And I think also there was scarcity mentality. That, okay, this opportunity might not present itself again. And I always felt like I might miss out. What if this is the person? What if this is the person? So I'll never give myself a chance to work on myself. And I think a part of it was also because I think when that significant like relationship ended, I think I was less in the wrong than the other person, right? So it felt like I didn't have things to fix about myself. So they were the problem. And now that everything is over, I can move on. But that's not true. I had things to fix about myself, and I later found that out. So sometimes this is also what happens. We're moving on because we're like, it's their fault. They were the ones who were not good at the relationship. And then you are not actually like healing. You're not actually fixing some of the things that you also need to fix for the next relationship. So
that's why I'm not despising my singlehood, to be honest. Because I feel like God's working on me. And I need to be that good and perfect gift for my future husband.
Amen.
Like,
and he needs to be doing the same.
We're not doing that anymore. Not doing that anymore.
No thanks.
Just to be, not despise the journey, honestly.
I mean, I was despising it. I'm telling you, when the 25 hit, I was
no, then the 25, we all despised it. Don't worry.
So
I think for me, like the journey, like it warped me.
Yeah,
it put me on the leash. Since I had no choice, because like I was bound by the Jane. Jenny got me in handcuffs and it's like, girl, we need to woman. We need to grow up. We need to grow up very fast. And it was like, whoa. And I feel like even now, I'm so comfortable in realizing that it's okay for me to take my time. There's some healing that needs to happen. There's some work that needs to happen, and that's okay. And giving myself those moments to heal, because now I recognize, I am aware that they also have in turn power to elevate my future experiences. So I should take that time. It should be something I do actively, because I think that scarcity mentality, that I'm going to miss out. What if? I realize that, you know what, something that's for you, it has to be for you. Like there's so many things. Like look at this medical degree, sis.
Into now.
Like it was meant for me, and this is why it's followed through. Because honestly speaking, there were some things that were just, it was going haywire, but it happened in the end. So I feel like in this case, we're really operating from the scarcity mentality that, oh my gosh, you know, good man, this, that, and this, that, and it's like any lizard that comes along, you're just like, let's see if we can work with this. You know what I mean? But like, it's desperation.
Yes,
it's a desperation, and I think it's not good to do anything from out of desperation.
For sure, you end up settling.
And these people, if there's anything that they can smell,
desperation, and they will use it.
And like,
it's like it's a pheromone.
I'm telling you,
they can sniff it out.
I think now I'm transitioning from that, like really the 25 hit to like acceptance, where like you were saying that like it is what it is, like, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And I think me thinking that I was very self-aware at the moment, thought that if I accept it, I know I have a tendency of then over accepting it, that I won't then put effort into trying to make anything work. Like I'll now just be waiting for something to happen. But that's actually not what's happening. I think the work is still happening. I'm also acknowledging that even though I feel ready, there's a reason. There's a reason for the season, and there's a reason why something hasn't happened yet. Sometimes I feel like I don't know the reason, because look at me. But every other
make it
make sense. But other times I'm just like, whatever the reason is, my prayer is that not neglecting whatever changes that need to be made in me as well. So that by the time that the ready partner appears, I'm a worthy partner too. Worthy not only to them, but have I done what I'm proud of? Like if someone says that's my girlfriend, am I proud to be the girlfriend, or I'm being a girlfriend for the name of it, you know, or I'm being someone's partner for being girlfriend with it, like they not actually pulling up the way that I've always imagined myself pulling up. Like, I imagine myself pulling up spiritually, like you said, you watched your mom praying for you guys. Can I pull up? All right. Can I pull up emotionally? Do I bring emotional stability? Can I pull up mentally? If someone presents me with something mental, can I put my mentals there and balance theirs as well? Can I balance what I'm doing in life with what they're doing in life and be able to not... Because I think that was my other problem that I had to heal from. I had a plan. And I was just looking for someone to fit into my plan.
Trust me, a lot of people are like that, and I feel like it's probably the reason why I'm not typically a person like that, but I think when it comes to relationships, but I feel like a lot of people are like that, and I think it's not a good thing.
It's not.
Especially when it comes to if you want to do relationships, I think it's great for career, but relationship and maybe other things that you want to achieve in life, but connections with people, I don't think that you should do it like that.
Yeah.
Because you can't you can't put a timeline and a stamp to a human connection. Like I think it's very interesting to me, like how people can conceptualize that, and it's like a thing where you you are ready to plant a person into your life.
Yeah.
That is interesting, you know.
I really did. Like I have it figured out. Or I had it figured out very much so that this is like how I imagine things going. Only like to realize that the other person matters just as much as I matter in this, which means that their process matters just as mine mattered, and matters as well. That if they're gonna pull up as this ready person that I want and all these things that I'm looking forward to, that there's a certain level of respect and grace that I have to extend to how they're processing things. Because at the end of the day, we are very two different people who are coming together to try to form this relationship. And so I had to like get rid of my ideas. Which wasn't the best, the easiest thing, because I'm a firstborn. I have this thing. I have things figured out, you know, including my relationship, which I really now don't even have a clue. Like, what is to figure it out?
For me, like when I saw how like
just it's been crazy. That's what I get. It's been crazy. I think I got to that point of surrender. Like
that's
in your
where
hands.
I am.
Yes, because
done.
I actually recognize that
Listen.
I've got no bloody clue what the hell is going on.
I
do not.
Done.
So you know what?
It's in God's hands.
I actually surrender,
have a
because you
question.
think that you're using your head,
not.
and you think that you're making some decent sound decisions, and then it's just and you're like,
I have a question. I feel like, okay, I've surrendered. I've surrendered, right? But the truth of the matter is, I still have, like, when certain things happen, they still make me feel some type of way.
What do you mean?
So, like, I still want to be in a relationship, right? And I still feel like I'm ready enough for a relationship. I mean, there's always progressive work that always happens. It doesn't stop happening. Because it's not like you reach a point where you're like, I'm ready, then the person comes. They clearly...
I feel like this is how it should be working, but I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
Who's in charge of this department? Because
I need to talk to them, because what the heck?
talk to HR, like...
So the work you do on yourself and whatever, it continues, right? Because it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when in the pursuit of this relationship, when certain things happen in the waiting season, like I get touched, like I just want to be picked too.
Yeah.
And like, so I feel the emotional impact, but, and what I've noticed is I need just a little bit of time to get my brain the mature brain to kick in and rationalize.
those are relevant feelings as well, because I think as human beings we do want to be chosen, you know, and it does hurt to not be chosen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As much as we want to act like, oh my gosh, like I'm fine by my no, we do want to be chosen. We do want to be picked. We do want to be loved and all these things. And I think that those emotions and feelings and wants, they're relevant and they're valid, you know. So yeah, guys, we're going to continue this I don't know, sister series, because it's unpacking is unpacking.
All of them things.
The unpacking is
traumas.
unpacking. We're about to reach like 3 hours, so let's wrap it up, and then you guys, when you listen, you tell us you want us back together, and we'll be back.
Which gist do you want?
Because we didn't even finish like everything we wanted to say.
Seriously.
But we wanted to give you guys a little snippet of our experiences as women. We didn't even get into career. We didn't even get into other things.
It's for part 3.
But I'm telling you, it's for part 3. But I'm really happy for the conversation that we had. I feel like knowing each other for a couple of years, I think we can see the growth, you know, that each of us has been going through as we have been supporting each other through many different things in life as women. So I'm also very grateful for you guys. You are women who are significantly impacting me as a person, and I absolutely appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that, and these talks that bring healing, that bring growth, that bring, and it's such a beautiful thing to have those relationships, those authentic relationships for women, because I know that it's not easy. Drama filled and all these things, jealousy and whatnot. So I really appreciate having friends like you, where I just know it's love here and we're standing 10 toes.
Love and jokes.
Exactly. Love and jokes, love and vibes. So I appreciate that, and I really, really thank God for it. And most importantly, I think for me, having friends that are spiritual with you is something. It's really, really, really something. You know what I mean? I think it's like a different level, because it's like Shamari Erwendo, not just this journey on earth, but also like the journey beyond,
the journey of life.
Exactly.
See what I did there?
That podcast. The good podcast for a reason. So yeah, say your outros. What do you want to say? What do you want to tell the people?
Don't do drugs, kids. Kidding.
Kidding?
Let's see, I'm not kidding.
Not
Don't
kidding.
do drugs. Not kidding. Not kidding. All I can say is surrender the journey to God.
Amen.
He knows what's best. He orders the steps of the righteous. He knows the plans that he has for you. Prosper you, not to harm you. So best believe it's gonna work out in the end. Yes, the journey is gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. It's like walking through a bush of thorns sometimes, but
It's raining bush.
But the story at the end will be beautiful. So just trust the process. Trust God. In the end, like what He says in Isaiah 60:22, He will do it when the time is right.
Amen.
I'm Dr. Rose signing out. Kidding.
Gang.
I think for me, I just want to say, continue to be real with yourself. You're not always the princess in the story. Sometimes you really are the villain, even to yourself.
Wicked.
And you have to be real about it. And be introspective and learn about that. And once you are and you figured it out, ask help from the one guy who can help all of us, and that's God. Then because He will never turn you away. And also, when you've noticed those things about yourself, we spoke about a lot of flaws that we see in ourselves physically, mentally, and the things that we've experienced. I think the only one who can fix it is God. And you don't have to fix yourself before you go to God. And allow yourself to experience the grace of God in those things. The grace of God in how you view your body, the grace of God in how you view life, relationships, anything that you're trying to navigate, because He's the one guy that's not gonna leave you or forsake you, not like these but these lizards. So yeah, like Rose said, give your journey to God and allow yourself to experience God's love. I think that's something I'm working on as well. LSOS, signing out.
Oh, thank you, sister.
XO, gossip girl.
I'm not even going to add anything more to that. Thank you for the advice. And, remember, guys, life is but a journey. So, bon voyage. Bye.
Siesta.
As you fade away.